Hi everybody, welcome to the second component of our CARD 101 library research sessions. So in this particular session, we are going to be talking about and showing you content for strategies for the research paper that will be due a little bit later on in the semester. So just before we get started with all of that discussion, I do want to make sure that I cover a couple of different commonly asked questions or frequent situations that I run into when I work with all of you when you're in this class. The first thing that I would like to say is, which you'll see on the course research guide in just a moment, we're going to spend a lot of time, or a lot of content-wise, space-wise, looking at developing your topic. So as you are thinking about your research paper and what you'd like to do with it, you are most likely coming up with a topic or a research question or a thesis statement, depending on where you are in the process. And one of the interesting things that happens when you think of a topic is, in order to really successfully transition the topic into research and finding supporting resources for what you would like to do with it, we may need to take it apart a little bit, dissect it a little bit. So one of the things that you'll see in just a moment on the CARD 101 course guide is a topic development worksheet that gets you thinking about various aspects of a topic. What are the components or subcomponents related to a topic? And then once we start to kind of pull apart and find the different layers and pieces and parts of a topic that could be interesting to you, then we can start to think about the search terms that we might wish to use. Because the other point that I want to make is, once you translate your research topic into searchable terms, it's more than likely that you will be doing your research process, you're searching in the library's resources or outside of the library on internet searches, or looking for particular types of sites or content on the internet, that you may need to do it more than once. And I know that feels like, no thank you, or I don't really want to do that. But to fully develop your ideas and to support the claims that you want to make, you are going to have to use a variety of different sources, and you may need to search for information on your topic in different ways. So don't be surprised if you have to do your research, the research process, more than once. You're not doing anything wrong. You're actually doing something very right if you are doing the research process more than once. Okay, so translating your topic, doing the research process more than once, talking about a variety of sources that we might need to use. We'll talk about that in the next component. But my one suggestion just generally is, you may want to look for sources in a larger number than you are required, than is listed in your assignment requirements. A good rule of thumb that I always encourage people to follow is, if, for example, for this research paper, you need approximately 5 to 6 sources, maybe aim for anywhere between 10 to 15 to 16. Almost 2 to 3 times more the amount of sources that is listed as a requirement. Most of the time, professors will not be upset with you if you use more than the minimum required number of sources. You don't want to go too far afield, though, and use too many sources, because then you're not leaving room for your own ideas. But in the research gathering process, you want to start accumulating enough sources so that you can read through them and feel like you have a handle on how the topic is being presented in different types of publications, as well as from different perspectives. So having that ties into doing the research more than once. You may need to do the research more than once to have that wide variety of sources that helps you piece together your ideas and your perspective for this particular research paper. And then the last thing I would say is, one of the things that I think that sometimes students struggle with in this research paper component is that you need to remember that you need to be part of the research paper. And in thinking about your topic and breaking it down and doing the topic development worksheet or doing the writing activities that your professors are assigning to you to help you develop the different parts of your draft, that can only help you succeed as you move forward in thinking about your research paper. Research papers, you are entering a scholarly conversation on a particular topic. You may not want to, but you are. So that's the piece where it's like you need to have the background information and you need to understand what researchers and scholars have said before on a particular topic, or how the general public understands the presentation of a particular topic. But then you always need to leave in the research paper room for your ideas or your perspective. You want to support your ideas and your perspective with previous research, but you want to make sure that you're giving yourself that opportunity to insert yourself, because that's the whole piece of having a scholarly research conversation. And I'm sorry, because apparently anytime I want to record a video, someone will call me. So basically that's what I wanted to make sure to say to you today, is that think about the topic and how you can think about breaking it apart or finding the most important pieces that we could use as search terms in the library's resources. Then we may need to do the research process more than once, because we might need different types of information in order to get that full perspective. Then we also want to have a wide variety and a bigger number of sources than we initially need in order to compile this piece. And then we also want to make sure that you're leaving room for your own interpretation and thoughts and ideas in the writing process when that comes a little bit later. So this is just kind of a general introduction to what we'll be talking about. And then the next video is going to guide us into the CARD 101 research guide and the topic development and resources tab. So see you there in just a minute.